life, overcome our human life, triumph over our human life for our eternal benefit? Or will our spiritual life be overcome by the attractions of this present and tangible life, leading to eternal loss? It's a deep and searching question, isn't it, that the Lord raises. He's not just talking here about material things, as we'll consider in a minute. He's going right to the heart of the matter. He's going right to the issue of our spiritual life. And this takes us back to the point we made at the beginning, that each of these questions are designed to make the disciples think and evaluate their own spiritual development, but also their own growth in their relationship with the Master. Now, they had the great privilege, didn't they, of actually walking beside the Master, listening to the words coming from his mouth, listening to the teaching, seeing his miracles, and seeing the effect upon the people as they listened to his teaching, as they listened to the teaching of the parables. How did the people take it in? How did the disciples take it in? What was their response? Was it building up in them this great fund upon which they were building their spiritual development and their spiritual relationship with Jesus Christ? Of course, it was remarked, wasn't it, of Jesus himself. No man ever spake like this man. He doesn't speak like the scribes and Pharisees. This man is different. So it was for the disciples. So, just to think about worldly issues for a moment. This is a list of some of the 9 or 10 most wealthy people in the world. Look at the top, it says worth in billions of dollars. Top person, whoever he is worth 211 million. Actually, his family owned a vast number of fashion brands and all sorts of things. They own Louis Vuitton and a whole range of other fashion things. 211 billion. Elon Musk, of whom we hear so much in the press these days, worth a mere $180 billion. And so the list goes down. Jeff Bezos, is he Google? Amazon. 114 million. The size gets smaller, doesn't it? And then someone like Bill Gates, well, he's down to 104 million. Used to be the world's richest man, but he's given loads of it away, isn't he, to a charitable foundation. Just a view of these men, and certainly all these and many, many millions of people around the world, they have come to the conclusion that everything now is secure. Roman Abramovich commissioned a yacht worth $750 million or something. I'm secure. I can go where I want. I can do what I want. I can pay every bill. I can do this and it. But you know, so much of these very rich people's wealth is based on something very fragile. And that's the worth of their shares in their companies upon the market. And we've all seen over the years how quickly things can change. So although they may be very wealthy on paper, perhaps underneath it's rather fragile. So in their terms, they have, according to the words of the Lord, in their terms, they have gained the whole world. We just go back again. You can look at the ages of some of them. Bernard Einhold, 74. Warren Buffett, the American investment manager, is now 92. Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, 81. Carlos Slim, who I used to work for, 83, Mexican, owns Cemex and all sorts of other companies in Mexico. He's 83. So, all their energies and all their efforts have been focused on this life only. Many of them are elderly, we've just seen, soon to depart this life, soon pass from this life to the next. What then, we say? What then of their wealth? And the scripture has an answer for them, doesn't it? Thou fool, this night thy soul is required of thee, said Jesus in the parable about the farmer who determined to knock down his barns and build bigger ones. So, how then, in answer to this question, how then can we protect ourselves from the attraction of the world which leads to loss? How can we do this? Well, to quote the words of Jesus himself, self-denial is the remedy. And Jesus said to his disciples, "If any man desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." And quite definitely, for whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Self-denial is the key, is the remedy. We're never promised, are we, in the Christian life, that it will be a bed of roses. We're not like the prosperity gospel preachers. Follow Jesus Christ, follow me, make sure you give plenty in the collection for my house investments, and you too will become rich. The more generous you are, the more money you will make. No, we never promise that in the scriptures. This is the way that the Master went. The one who thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no esteem, took upon himself the form of a human and subjected himself unto death, even the death on a cross. This is the way that the Master went, and he asks us to do nothing. And here's the important thing, isn't it? He asks us to do nothing which he himself has not done. This is what makes a good boss, a good leader, isn't it? We've been that way. We've done the jobs that we're now asking our staff and the people that work under us and the people that work with us. We lead by example. And surely there is no greater example for walking the Christian life than Jesus Christ himself. And perhaps then, when considering self-denial, our thoughts always go too quickly to the material and the physical things of our lives. Should I really have this? Should I really do that? Should I really so and so and so and so? These are things of the present, these are things of our material life, these are the things of our everyday lives. But you see, there are, however, deeper aspects, much deeper, perhaps spiritual aspects about self-denial, which present us with a great test of our commitment to Christ. And as we say, Jesus was probing to see what their developing relationship with himself was. And so here are just a few points, perhaps, that we can just mull over as we're moving swiftly through the time. Just a few points here about self-denial. I didn't think these up, I found these in a commentary, but they're very, very relevant. I must deny my self-esteem in case I think myself too good to suffer for Christ. I must deny my own wisdom in case I will be too prudent to suffer for Christ. I must deny my own ease in case I will be too lazy to suffer for Christ. I must deny my own interests in case I am too worldly to suffer for Christ. I must deny my own fears in case I am too cowardly to suffer for Christ. These are really thoughts about the inner man, aren't they? These are our thoughts of our response to our relationship with Jesus Christ. We need to come and submit our all to his lordship, to his leading, to his guiding. So many of those attributes we take to ourselves and we make in many ways our targets. Am I going to be considered by my fellow brethren as a very wise person? Am I going to rank high amongst my society? Will men say, there's a very important man? Or do I have a good job? And do I take my ease? Do I go about asking others to do the things that I should be doing? No, these are issues that we need to look at deeply in our own lives. So then, how can I pass such a test? Well, there's one word: by grace. Yep, by grace. We have no power of our own. We have no help of our own. We have no strength, no abilities by ourselves. It's by grace alone. And at the end, we're going to sing this hymn after the prayer time. And the words are these, which you know well. He giveth more grace when the burdens grow greater. He sendeth more strength when the labours increase. To add affliction, he added his mercy. In multiple triumph is multiplied peace. Grace is the clue, and grace comes from Jesus Christ himself, doesn't it? And so if we're to answer this question, what profit is it a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Yes, it's very true. There is absolute no profit but total loss. But there is gain if we lay aside ourselves and our own aspirations and we commit and submit to the Lordship of Christ over our lives. Well, I hope that's been of help as we've looked at that particular question. As we've already sung our hymn, we'll go straight into our prayer time. There is time for us all to share. We can think of the regular things. There is the ministry on the Lord's Day.